Where did Kisara run off to?
You don't think she took off after Kelzelik, do you?
No. Nagal entrusted her with his dream. She wouldn't do something reckless like that. Right now, I think she just needs time to think. What she does from here on out is up to her. She has to be the one to decide.
You all arrived here from Cislodia, yes? In that case, you should... depart via the south gate, rather than the one you arrived through.
After all that, Kisara never came back to see us.
I'm surprised she slipped away without us noticing. Where would she even go? I hope this place survives. You think the Danins and Renins have a chance of getting along? We didn't really do much to change things around here, did we?
This realm had its own walls to overcome. And in the end, it was the people themselves who decided to break them down, without any help from us. I hope they keep going. I really do.
Yeah, well, if you say so, I guess. Huh?
All right. I leave command of the Gold Dust Cats in your hands.
You've got nothing to worry about, Kisara. I'll do your brother proud.
Looks like it's time to go. Take good care of Zare for me. All right, Legil?
You've got it. Stay safe, Kisara.
Did you come to say goodbye?
Actually, I was wondering if you could use another companion.
Huh?
Well, we certainly don't mind you coming along. We just figured you'd stay behind and help rebuild. These people could use you.
I thought much the same thing. However, in the end, something changed my mind. Ever since Miguel died, I've been thinking a lot. About where I went wrong, what I should have done differently. You know, that sort of thing. It's true that our dream of coexistence saved many Danan lives, but we were naive and short-sighted. I was so wrapped up in my idea of how things should be that I didn't see the problems that existed right in front of us. I thought we had been given a utopia. And so I never bothered to look too far past its surface. I chose to be ignorant. And because of that, because of me, my brother...
Miguel's death wasn't your fault, Kisara.
Perhaps you're right. But in the end, it was me he entrusted this dream to. I learned that nothing in this life is free, or gained without sacrifice. Now that I know that, I'll just have to figure out what else I don't know.
So, decided to join us?
I have. And hopefully I can continue to protect Elda Menencia from outside the dream world, for the sake of those still inside.
And here I thought you joined for an opportunity on my life.
In all honesty, I'm grateful to you. I truly am. I don't blame you for what happened. But I must also leave your service. No longer will I be defined by protecting a Renan Lord. From now on, when I fight to protect my dream. All I ask is that you do your part, that you fight alongside me, not just for those who used to believe in your dream, but for those that still do. Dohalim.
I understand. I'm no longer a lord anyway.
Well, this crew just gets bigger and bigger. All right, where to, team?
We make for Mahag Sar, the Valley of the Four Winds.
I'm amazed how easily you can move such a giant shield around like it's nothing.
Really? It's not actually as heavy as it looks.
It's really reassuring to have someone like you protecting us, though.
You know, I guess I never realized it before, but looking back, I've always been the sort to put myself in harm's way to protect those around me, even before I joined the Eldermenensia Guard. So in a way, using this shield to keep you all safe feels like it's what I was meant to do.
You don't need to worry about protecting me. I don't plan on relying on you.
That's okay. It doesn't matter if you do or not. I don't protect people because they ask me to. I do it because I want to, and because I think it's the right thing to do. That goes for you too, Dohalim.
Me?
Yes. You see, you and I both want the same thing. We have the same goal. That means it's in my best interest to continue to protect and keep you safe as well. Even now.
I'm not sure how much protecting I'll need either, but I appreciate the thought. I'm sure you'll do us proud, Kisara.
Right. You can all count on me.
What was Kelzelik even after in the end?
Isn't it obvious? Clearly he wanted the throne for himself, and was gonna have his goons execute Dohalim to get it.
He had to have known he couldn't hope to defeat a lord. He should have run while he had the chance, instead of holding himself up in the palace.
Maybe he thought he couldn't run? Either way, the outcome's the same.
So he got desperate and decided to go for broke?
One might argue that he was another victim of mine, in a sense.
Huh?
There is no greater calling in life to a Renin than the crown contest, yet I refused to take part. The shock he felt at that must have been truly immense. Enough to drive him to revolt, even though doing so meant defying Renin hierarchy.
I know I've said this before, but Danans and Renins wouldn't coexist here if it wasn't for your stance.
But that was no lofty idealism on my part, nor do I feel any pride at what occurred.
Spare us the pity party. You literally just joined us to uphold those ideals.
Shion?
No, she is absolutely correct. I shall speak no more of my misgivings.
I think Hoodle senses something.
Mahag Sar. That makes 4 out of the 5 realms that I've visited now.
I wonder what kind of lord we're gonna find there.
It doesn't matter. They try to get in our way. We'll take them down and that'll be that.
I won't forgive you!
Take it! Eat this! You're finished!
Hear me!
Flame of Fury! Burning Strike!
Glacial Spear!
There's evil! They rush you! You gotta jump for cover, okay? Stand to the wind! Air thrust! I'm expert! Coming through! Do it! Thanks, Kisara!
Our arts are being interrupted.
Let's give it a whirl! Lightning of Raging Cascade!
Resonate with the earth!
Dance in the wind!
Resonate with the earth!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Small, but a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go.
It'll be a breeze. Get in, get out.
Come
one, come all.
Here's the evil! Explosive ring! Supernova!
They've really got us on the ropes.
Don't forget to heal your wounds.
Hoo hoo hoo. Hoo! Hoo hoo hoo. Look, Hoodle! One of your buddies! Hoo!
Right, here goes!
Let me help! Thanks, let the marksman handle this! Arrow shot!
Burn in hell! Here I come!
Surrounding us!
Here, let me help!
First aid!
Okay, try this.
Happy dance in the wind!
Explosive ring!
It's time. A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
We're thinning them out.
Please, more like me.
I'll admit I'm impressed. Very slightly.
Infernal torrent! This could be useful. There's something in the water. I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond. And it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Renin eyes. Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble. I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod. You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done.
I hope we catch something decent.
Indeed. Hungry bellies are counting on this. Looks like I lost it. Ha! Nothing's biting. Looks like I lost it. Yeah! Not my lucky day, I guess. There we go. Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
Guess it's important to stay calm.
I've got something. I'll get you next time. Reel it in. That was disappointing. All right. Anybody could reel in that.
That went pretty well.
And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins. Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us.
Okay!
I think the animals back at the ranch should be all grown up by now.
I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Just doing my job. No need to thank me.
Hey. Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey, though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
I noticed, especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, Law?
Huh? Why are you asking me?
Kisara, let's talk for a bit. Maintaining your shield? It's becoming a familiar sight.
Miguel was the one who taught me how to maintain my equipment after I first joined the Guard. Now, it's just a part of my routine.
Your brother always seems to come up whenever I talk to you.
That's because we had no other relatives, so it was just the two of us growing up. He was my idol, The one I looked up to and wanted to be like. When I became a guardsman, Lagiel wasn't too pleased to see me at first. It was Miguel who really welcomed me aboard.
Lagiel? Oh, right. She was Miguel's second in the Gold Dust Cats, wasn't she?
That's right. She's always been a very critical and down-to-earth person. In other words, the complete opposite of a dreamer like me.
You're more an idealist than some pie-in-the-sky dreamer.
Even so, that's my brother's doing. He'd never let me stop seeing a brighter world. He always did what he could to keep me smiling and happy.
You must have meant a lot to him.
He wasn't just kind either. He always worked so hard to set an example for me and everyone else around him. He was a true big brother. So much so that when he thought I was asleep, he'd slip out of the house to go training on the outskirts of town.
You seem to know a lot about it.
That's because I only pretended to be asleep and would follow after him. You know what? I'm at a good stopping point with my shield. If you've got time, how about I tell you a couple more Miguel stories?
I guess I'd better get comfortable.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Before we go, do you guys have everything?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman, and this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danan, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. much like the Danins in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danins in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
Don't get careless.
Don't tell me! Now I can let loose!
Dragon Shell! Freeze Lancer!
Here I come!
Use the healing arm!
Airborne beast. My spec.
I'm just getting started!
You got flyers!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
All yours!
Dragon
Here I come! You're
Will
finished!
this help?
Arrow!
I won't rest until I'm the best I can be.
Still striving to be on par with the Lord?
You simply can't be too strong.
This one's
this
tough,
help?
but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Eat this! Explosive ring! Why'd you heal me?
To stop you dying?
Do it! Astral Energy!
Say no more!
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
All right.
There's nowhere to run from my arts! When he slows down, that's our chance!
It's like trying to keep up with a wall!
Rob's in pain.
Raging Cascade!
Prepare to be sealed, Actually, perhaps sound is more appropriate.
Less talking, more doing.
Shield!
Now I'm aiming for you! Rob's in pain.
Blow away!
Here I go! There you go! Throw her out!
Explosive ring! Dragon form!
Ranger!
Try this! Explosive ring!
I'm on a roll, man!
Dragon form! Do it! Try this! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
See that?
That training's paying off!
Can't
get out of this!
You're mine! Lightning!
Try this!
Flame of Fury!
Explosive ring! Do it! Totally! In an instant! Impact blow! Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's down in history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course.
I sense a strange power from this.
I still got a ways to go.
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
We seem to have come across something a little unusual.
I've got a really bad feeling about this.
Come one, come all.
Can't move. Here's evil. Freeze laser. I'll bring you back from death to this. Thunder shield. Dragon shell. Raging
Now or never.
Dragon shield.
Not done yet. Can't get out of this. I'll tear you apart. This on your side.
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Sorry, yeah. And
Near me. You are in tip-top shape.
As soon as I'm done here, come help out.
How could a girl ever say no?
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart's content.
Carve through armor. It's on. Dragon Sword.
Here's a healing art.
Talon Hurricane. You picked the wrong fight. Here it comes.
Light ass dance is the way.
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
Will this help
Take
you?
this.
Lightning confirmed. Thunderblade. Healing
Sword
shower.
blade.
Thank you.
So much for sitting this fight out.
That wouldn't be a complaint, I hear.
No, that is
Annihilation. With this, I can become even stronger. Hey, look at that enemy. It's shining.
phantoms! This one's tough!
Sleep now. I'll heal you all.
Slash!
I'm not sure.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
When did I get so popular?
Let's get you all tucked away.
Well, someone seems in tip-top form.
Nothing new about that.
And still as humble as ever. So though, the Dan and Astral are.
Something you want to say?
Not so long as you keep them pointed toward the enemy.
Rising Wyvern!
Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning
Raining Slash!
Spear! Shield! Freeze! This one's mine! Do it!
Blade!
All finished! Astral energy!
Say no more!
Hold up. Is this as valuable as I think it is?
It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with them then?
Oh yeah. We used to run up and down these slopes all the time for our training exercises.
Damn. You weren't messing around. Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret these. Glimmer Dragon! Explosive ring! First strike! Try harder! My turn! Glimmer Dragon! We are freaking invincible!
Alvin and the others truly are strong.
What about me?
You're finished!
Gale Force! First aid!
Now I can let loose! Ha! Ignite!
Here's
Here I
the
come! It's over!
Not in your dreams!
Slide! Swallow Blade!
Summoning Ranger!
Damn it!
Do it!
Kizaru Frozen!
Hammer!
Photon Blast!
Eat this!
Here I come!
I'm on a roll now!
Here! Law! Get toasty!
Bird strike!
Right, next one!
Eat this! Already on it!
Raging Cascade!
Dragon Form!
I never fit! In here! Do it!
Talon Hurricane!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Did you see?
Sure did. The part where you swung and missed, right?
Not that part!
Bad feeling about this.
Stay calm. I shall provide assistance.
Explosive ring!
Heal!
Okay, here I go. Ha! Not today!
I'm gone! Flying free!
Tide of battle has turned in our favor.
Then let's
Sia,
keep
can you take care of them?
Indeed. Remain ever vigilant.
No further! I'm ready!
Tiger Blade!
Totally! In an instant! Impact Claw! We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
Make it break!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
I need to be stronger. Let's dispose of the trash.
Try this!
Is this it? I couldn't make it in time.
If it's in the sky,
I've used too much. Leave the agile ones to me.
And just like that... I'm back in it.
Start by holding the front line.
No sooner said than done.
I shall ensure you survive this. Not sure. I'll face you. Here I come.
The enemy wields arms too.
We'll soon see about that. Another fit.
Here I come. I'll face you. It's over.
Here, let me help.
I'll take you all on. Ha! Flare the Molotov!
Light. Swallow blade. Try it.
I owe you one for that.
Infernal torrent.
Glacial spear.
Pierce evil.
This one's mine.
Far down. Do back.
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Swallow blade.
Going in.
Dragon swarm.
Do it!
Who's next?
I thought you more defensively minded.
Defense via threat elimination.
So the best defense is a good offense.
Confiscated.
Going in.
Your motion. Swallow blade.
Charger blade.
You picked the wrong fight.
Going in.
Dragon swarm. I'll face you.
Reload.
Swallow blade.
Charger blade.
I'll take you all on. Ha! Flare the Molotov!
Can't get out of this. You're mine. Swallow blade. Dragon swarm. I'm ready. Light burst forth.
Radiant Genesis.
Flaming
I'll
meteor!
face you.
Corruption. This one's mine.
I should be of some use to us now.
You weren't exactly dead weight before.
Except in regard to doing basic chores.
That equipment should come in handy.